Hello and welcome to the Slingshot channel. Today it's lousy weather outside, so we're gonna do a video inside. It's the how-to tutorial video about the Bullpup Slingshot crossbow. And let me explain the weapon to you first. It's a bullpup design. This means that you can use the entire length of the weapon for acceleration. It is very simple because when you pull the trigger, this ladle comes up and lifts the ball over the edge here. It is very short because it has a draw length extension. See, there are rollers here, and this means that there is no dead play. You immediately start accelerating the ball here. Now, this is very heavy rubber with 6 layers of TheraBand gold per side. That's about 80 lbs, about 36 kilograms of a draw, which you can only do when you use the stirrup here to use both arms to cock the weapon. It also has a telescopic sight. That's from a surplus G36 German assault rifle. It's about €5 a piece. And so that you can still load the weapon, it is mounted on a swing arm. This means now you can load it, and then when you're ready for shooting, you fold it up and then you're ready to fire. To test the power, we will fire this 20mm steel ball against this coconut. To load it, you put it down, put the foot on the stirrup, fold the scope out of the way, put the bullet in, and then pull. A clean hole, and actually the ball is still in. Okay, I'll open the system up for you. And as you see, it's a very simple mechanism. When you pull the trigger here, then you pull on this piece of paracord and you lift the ladle up so it can push the ball over the edge. So if you want to make yourself one of these, you will find the instructions on the forum, and that's big news. I now have a forum and a website, not just only the blog. And in order to accelerate traffic on the forum, I'm giving a Panther or a Cougar to the first 10 guys that complete 150 posts on my forum. You can find the link from my website, which is slingshotchannel.com. Well, good luck, thanks, and bye-bye. Okay, what you need is some plywood, 12mm or ½ inch, some length of wooden rod, about 25mm diameter, about 1 inch, some screws, nuts, washers, bolts, the usual stuff. What you need is a power jigsaw, some basic tools, and the blueprints, and you can download them and you can find the link in the text description of this video. So first you need to cut out the basic shape of the weapon and then extend the barrel part so that the entire weapon is about 65 centimeters in length. And then you simply transfer this whole thing to the plywood and start sawing it out. You need to saw this out 3 times, and the middle part you have to hollow out the part of it, because that's going to be the assembly for the trigger and lock mechanism. Next, you glue the right and the middle part together so that you can see there is space for trigger and lock now. Now you take the remaining piece and you saw out the parts for the lock and trigger. Don't throw these parts away, you're going to need them later on to mount them shut. Next, saw out the part for the rollers and the band attachment. And you can see the holes drilled through for the band for the roller attachment already. Now saw out the stirrup part. Now you mount the stirrup part and the roller band attachment part together, and I used some glue but also stabilized it with bolts and nuts. Now you saw off about 3 centimeters, a little over 1 inch from the round rod, and you drill a hole right through the center of it. Now take a long bolt and 2 washers, put the roller between the washers, and then counter two nuts against each other with enough play so that the roller runs freely. Now you can mount the rollers to the assembly and the rollers should really roll without much resistance. If they are not rolling freely, then you need to loosen the countered nuts a bit. Now saw out the band attachment parts, and I also bolted them on. I also glued them and fixed them with some kind of normal screws from the backside. Now saw out the lock mechanism part. As you see, there's also a hole for the axis drilled through. Next, saw out the trigger part. Drill holes through the lock and the trigger part and attach a length of paracord or strong string so that they are nice and firmly attached. Notice also that there is a screw that stops the trigger from swinging too far back. Now you can mount the plates that cover the system, and also you can use them to drill the holes through for the axis, for both the trigger and the lock part. You can also attach a bit of rubber to the lock part so that the whole thing returns to the relaxed condition when you have fired. Now the weapon is finished and ready to take on some bands. You can add some other touches like adding a scope, giving it a nice paint job. What you can also do is you can also add guide rods to the front so that the rubber stays on the rollers after you shoot. But that's all details that you don't have to do. It's basically already a firing weapon.